Hello, internet machine, Mr. Ducky Momo. My name is Jason Ward. I'm from MakingStarWars.net, and this is the most popular man in the YouTube comments, Rob at Sketchcraft. Yeah,
the kids love me.
They really do. They really do. I believe they call you a-hole. which Boba Fett goes into a-hole. If you think about it, it's very Star Wars like.
Here's my a-hole comment of the day. When I hear that Minox scream now, all I hear is Eagle Fang from Cobra Kai.
It is the same one, isn't it?
I don't like your takes. Like, okay, you don't have to. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. You know, I watched Ted Lasso season 1 all over again to feel better, to feel positive. You know, I can't grow that mustache. This is the most I can get. But I accept their anger.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's gonna be a totally different story, man. Because it's just statistically, either one of these episodes, Andor or Obi-Wan I'll be like the biggest shill for, right? I'll be like, this is it. And then it's gonna be like, it's not that great.
That'll be the one that YouTube pushes out in the algorithm, and we actually get views, and we're like you know, it's like 30,000 people watch you talking about how the Book of Boba Fett episode 4 literally changed your life, and you can't wait to have a son so you can name him Tamora Morrison. Sketchcraft.
More importantly, I want these ears to be a shield for my fellow co-hosts who also hated the show more than me. Like there were other people on that episode who were just like, "This is the worst ever." I'm like, "It's not that," but I will defend them.
I defend them. At about 2 a.m., you get legit reactions. Nobody's shilling or lying at 2 a.m. Everyone's just like either really amped and jazzed about it, or they're not. Like that, I think, is both the annoying and the amazing thing. Not that I want people shilling, obviously, I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that, like, you know, you want to make sure that you're like in the right place to review it. And honestly, 2 a.m. isn't always the right place for everybody to go and have a level-headed discussion about, you know, when you just want to go to bed. Boba Fett, well, looking for, you know, little rocks with water in them to eat. It's not necessarily the way you want to spend. You want to spend.
To be fair, though,
yeah,
I'm normally awake at 2 a.m. So I was perfectly.
That's because you're an asshole. You're an a-hole. I'm talking about everybody else. I'm talking about why everybody else gets a pass, not you, you asshole. Come on.
We'll move on to the news in 1 second, folks. Let me finish this.
This guy's an asshole. Let him finish.
The second most hate I ever got on the internet, it's second most, but the second most hate I ever got on the internet was I went to the, so the year before BVS, Batman v Superman, came out, there was this IMAX screen for the trailer, right? And like the trailer comes out, they were supposed to have a screening in the theaters for the trailer. Hours before that, the trailer gets out on the internet. But we all went anyway, thinking maybe there'll be something special, like something that didn't leak. We stand in line for an hour, get filed into the AMC. I was at Mission Valley at the time. I was living in San Diego. And we go in. It's a Zack Snyder video for like a 30-second. You watch the trailer. And then like, want to watch it again? We watched the trailer. And then we left. And they gave us a ticket for 1 year later to come back and watch BVS. And I was like, well, I guess I got a free movie ticket out of this, right?
Yeah, that's kind of
so
cool.
1 year later, I went to see BVS with that same ticket because I went in excited. Now, when I came out, bro, I was so exhausted from that film.
Yeah,
people moped out quiet.
Can you see the laughter behind my eyes though? Have you seen about you saying BVS?
Yeah, I know. And I came back and I was like, I'll go on the cast and talk about, I'm like, it's a 3. I was being nice. I'm like, it's a 3 out of 5. And I mean, in reality, I think the opening is like a 4 out of 5 and the rest of the movie is like a 1.5 out of 5. But that is
the best. That is, you are accurate. I have ruled. I judge you correctly, a-hole.
Yeah. And I'm willing to be called an a-hole for that. But like, I was trying to not go over and tell everyone this thing you're about to see, I think is really bad.
Yeah.
Right? I was trying not to be that guy. I was trying to be fair. And I realized at that point, I got so much hate from the BVSers. Bro, I got like you're a white boomer. You know, I'm a boomer in it? I mean, do you know what year I was born?
Classic cis smell asshole.
A-hole. Whatever, man. It was fine. I was like, all right. So when it comes to movies and shit, I was like, I'm never talking about this shit the day it comes out, right?
Yeah.
Like, but here we gotta do it,
now you have to. Now, welcome back to BVS hell, where you were sent back then. You just didn't know it. You were banished to a Book of Boba Fett hell for your infractions against the Zack Snyder community, you a-hole.
But like any artist, when I get shit, right, I make stuff. So I
yeah, you start finger painting with it. You're just like making dookie paintings of Darth Maul and stuff. It's amazing.
I got stuff for the whole week. Folks.
Okay. So our news du jour, I'm going to pop up and put back down for a second, though, because you're going to see this and a bunch of you are going to go, oh, whatever, the sun. Now, one of the things I want to throw out there is that, yes, the sun might be wrong about Antonio Banderas' illegitimate Martian child or something like that you heard one time. That's probably true. But in the past...
Was that real?
No.
Okay, I'm like Cousin Eddie at this moment. You serious?
No, I saw. I can't share it. I'm gonna be the dick who mentions I can't share. But I saw some stuff of him from Indiana Jones last night, and I was like, oh, looking cool. But anyways, so he's on my brain. But anyways, the sun. Now I think it's like I'm gonna say that you need to treat them like an unreliable leaker in the sense that an unreliable leaker is going to do, there's like two kinds of unreliable leakers. A fake leaker just makes shit up. Just goes, you know what? I bet you Grogu is going to be in X, Y, and Z properties because why the hell wouldn't he? I'm going to throw it out to them when I'm right. I'm an insider. Oh, you know what? This guy, Jason Ward, is going to report that Obi-Wan Kenobi series is coming out. Oh, you told a couple of people? Oh, I'm going to report that and then pretend that like I got sources out, that kind of thing. Like that's the thing that people will do. This guy, this BVS motherfucker over here. So anyways, though, but the thing is like when I was legitimately reporting Tarkin and Leia in Rogue One, they didn't cite me, but they came out sideways of me, and within the same time frame reported that. So the reason why what I'm saying is that the Sun has had things that have clicked. They will buy photos off of people. Like I might get photos. I'm going to put them up and share them with you directly. But if I wanted to make some serious money, I would take my Mandalorian photos over to the Sun and I would get, $100 for each one or something. Serious money. And
I get it now.
So anyways, it could literally be junk though. It's still the Sun for what it is. It's still that. It could be the Sun pruning things it heard off of the internet and turning it into a story. It could be that. But at the same time, unlike many of the people who leak in the world, this has a writer's name attached to it. I think that they actually do care. So, and it says Harrison Ford 79 film scenes to Star Wars as Han Solo in Disney's new Star Wars TV spinoff, The Book of Boba Fett. So by the Moyes. So here we go. The Star, not the Sun, the Star. 79 is rumored to have spent 3 days filming in London for a cameo scene in the final episode of The Book of Boba Fett. So the Star is rumored to, so it's the same info again. And then he allegedly broke off from filming the 5th Indiana Jones movie to do the scene, in which he will be de-aged using computer wizardry. The first
fake guy.
Yeah, right. That's what comes to mind. Which one side note I want to say probably was hired for Indiana Jones, and also though probably was hired because he's talented, and a hell of a lot of ILM movies are going to be using that tech in the future. And well, it seems like the kind of person you would want on your team.
I want them to use deepfake guy.
Yeah.
And I want him to do Backpack Kids dance though when he's doing
The first of 7 episodes about the bounty hunter began on Disney last week. Han Solo was killed in 2015's Force Awakens, but new scenes are set before then. Fan George Friend said last night, "It's a dream come true." George Friend? I'm George Friend. Hey everybody, I'm Paul Powell. Also, your friend, your pal, Paul Powell. Ford played Millennium Falcon pilot Han Solo, and George Lucas is really getting into the deep dive Wikipedia information
300 words, man. They got
right
300 words.
The series takes the viewer back to the planet of Tatooine, where in the first episode streamed this week, blah blah blah, the IT crowd, Matt Berry voiced a droid. All right, you changed your hair. I see.
He's been
in
nothing else since the IT crowd.
And there's like literally ads for watching his body double on Harrison Ford. Oh, you're talking about the IT guy. Harrison Ford was killed in 2015. They keep forgetting that he came back for the 2019's movie that nobody seems to remember. And is that it? Do we not write end paragraphs at the sun? We just say fuck it, we're done. You know what?
We should come up with our own fake Star Wars news sites called the Twin Suns.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Right?
I mean, I guess like you drop Matt, the IT crowd, that's your mic drop, I guess.
And we'll make it look just like it, but it's all bullshit. Fake leakers.
So I mean, so let's you know, you could believe it or not. I don't really know what I believe. I see it as food for thought. But let's just throw it out there. Indiana Jones has been filming for a while. They don't say when he supposedly filmed this work. I mean, like that's one of the things about it is if Harrison Ford did step away to do it, you would have to think it was before he hurt himself. And kind of weird that it would leak out now. Not impossible though. And, you know, people leave productions. That's when they start talking. Most of the time, when you're not there anymore, is when you start talking. So it's completely possible, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know. COVID makes everything weird. We're in a weird place, and it's a weird timeline to like deal with. It just seems like it would have leaked out a long time ago, but Tatooine show did say that Harrison Ford was in it and Mark Hamill, at least Luke and Han. So I don't know what to make of.
They wouldn't have done a Back to the Future 2 style opening, where like it's that whole Return of the Jedi sequence where you get in the background you hear 3PO saying you will be slowly digested for 1,000 years, but you see it all from Boba Fett's point of view. Like, seems weird that they would not do that with the deep fake stuff, and then you can age them up a little bit. I don't know, like bring it back at the end, like bookend it in a way.
Well, there is a chance that if the flashbacks are kind of the first flashback we see is not Geonosis. Now I'm saying it, Camino, and is Camino, and then so we start at the very, very beginning. The flashbacks may get into kind of a roll as time goes on, and it may roll into by the middle of the series we are at the Great Pit of Carkoon. Like there is a chance that we go back to it, and there is a chance that we see him in the Sarlacc more than what we even saw. I mean, there is just a chance that it could do that. I don't know if it will. I'm not putting money on it. I'm not in Vegas looking at what the odds are, but it's definitely a possibility that we end up getting there. Also a possibility that we don't know what the timelines are going to be of the flashbacks.
Right. Yeah. I was thinking, like, why do I get those two planets names confused so much? And it comes down to, I remember this argument with myself 20 years ago. I was like, well, it's because the clones were created on this planet, the Camino planet. But Geonosis always sounded like Genesis to me.
Yeah.
So I keep thinking like the planet where the birthplace of all the clones would have been like Genesis, Geonosis. And then the other planet that don't fucking matter for nothing would have been called Camino. Like, it's it's just weird to me, like where they build, but maybe the place where they build all the cars would be the place where they build tanks and trucks would be the Camino plant. Like it's just, I know it's a goofy thing to get screwed up, but it's just like it's just the birthplace isn't called Genesis. I don't know. Star Trek 2 fan of me is confused, you know, like.
So I guess the question I have, Russell, though, he says the sun is worse than we got this covered or giant freaking robot, but I'd love to see Harrison back. But are they worse for Star Wars? Because I got to be honest with you, I think they actually have a better track record for Star Wars than the aforementioned.
I almost sent you one of those giant freaking robot posts that apparently the Facebook algorithm has learned that I'm doing this show now, because now I get 9,000% more Star Wars posts than I've had in all the entirety of Facebook.
Yeah.
And it was like the worst Star Wars villain is getting their own series. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like,
Kathy Kennedy?
Duros, maybe.
Kathy Kennedy, a Star Wars story?
Efontman is getting a series. Like what is, you know?
Well, Max Rebo, he plays the notes from Close Encounters, and then like a force-filled bubble comes around him, and when the cell barge explodes, he's like, it's like Explorers with that little thing that the kids fly in, but instead it's his piano. Yeah. And he's like,
love the Explorers.
Yeah, and it's like
so in my head, I was doing Star Wars villain bingo, like, all right, you know, because I know this is clickbait, but I'm like, let me just see if I can try to narrow it down, right? And so then I got all these names down. I click on the link, and it's about the Captain Phasma book. Like,
oh God,
really, guys, the worst Star Wars. Underutilized words. Are we doing this? Like, really?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, of course. It's duh. Like,
yeah.
Folks.
Yeah, which by the way, I didn't really intend on talking about it, because an author has a pitch, and the author's talking about the pitch on the internet, which is, I don't know if that goes over too well with them usually. And so I'm not holding my breath on it happening, but really briefly, since we're discussing Han Solo coming back for the like 8th time in a row, like let's not act like it's amazing if he does come back, because he keeps fucking coming back. He won't stop coming back. Go away, Harrison Ford. Get a life. No,
what's amazing is it's not Aaron Reich doing it. You know, yeah. I think that's the bigger, like they're like, we'll take the 80-year-old man with the computer effects over this.
Want to hear a theory I have?
Sure.
I think from Harrison Ford's perspective, he's really old. He knows that he has a lot of money, but he also knows that if that's money for his family, why does a man do anything that he's not doing for himself? If he's not a selfish person, it's for his family. So it would not surprise me if, when all is said and done, Harrison Ford truly sold his entire likeness over to Disney as Han Solo and Indiana Jones, like in perpetuity. Not one of those things, and it may be something that he part of that deal. I don't have any sources on that at the moment, but I would not be surprised, because I believe Mark Hamill did the same. They always had the likeness, but there's a different level of likeness of being able to computerize you forever. And listen to a little bit. I'm just gonna no one will ever be Indiana Jones but Harrison Ford. There's a little bit of that in their fucking comments right now. And so I would not.
That makes the most sense.
That's
I was always like, why would they say that?
Yeah, that's just a little bit of a thing that I'm wondering if that's where we're at. You know what I mean?
With the Mr. Evil, the Dr. Evil.
Yeah. And I mean that might just be crazy talk by Jason. It happens all the time. But I am kind of getting that sense. And why bother investing in giving somebody like in the future, like an Alden Ehrenreich? Imagine Solo, a Star Wars story, came out and made $1 bajillion. Now you're having to chase Alden Ehrenreich around, asking him if he wants the green M&Ms or the red M&Ms and the thing and stuff like that. When you start to get voice actors and body doubles who can imitate the past performances of Harrison Ford perfectly, then yeah, that person has some power, but at the same time, it's not. I mean, it's like almost like the Japanese concept of a what do they call it? Like an icon, like a diva, a pop star, you know? Which oh god, what was that anime about blue something? I own it. It's really
Perfect
good.
Blue.
Perfect Blue. See Perfect Blue. I mean, in the end, I mean, this ends up with this Perfect Blue version of Harrison Ford down the road. He's like, "What? I'm an AI."
This a-hole knows his anime.
This a-hole knows his AI. Too.
That's right. My anime AI. Get me talking about Dragon Half sometimes, Jason.
Sir, the AI has finished the project. Project A-hole is complete. And here he is, my new best friend, Rob. Project A-hole.
This is the laugh where I was like, well, if my wife doesn't leave me for this laugh, then I gotta stay with her. This would have driven anyone out.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it though, like at one point, like Harrison Ford is a dude who seriously hasn't given a fuck since probably 1987. Like he either cares or he doesn't. And if they're like, hey, we want to give you X amount of dollars for your likeness, and it will, and who knows what the deal is? It may be that every time they use his likeness, he gets paid. So they may, his family, his children, his sons. I think he only has sons. I'm not positive. I think he only has sons though. Maybe getting payments for this. Ally McBeal. There's no Ally McBeal reboot coming. She's gonna need that because she's probably like some fancy ass shit because she's a very fancy lady. And
Adam Driver's like, what about his movie sons? Like,
yeah, I gotta say, I think if I was a Harrison Ford though, I think I would nab an Ally McBeal. I think he did it right. I think he pulled it. I think he did right for himself. I'm proud of Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford could have been married like 18 times. Instead, he got like
the fact that she isn't out there dating the dude from SNL that everyone dates. Guy looks like Beetlejuice.
Wait, the blue guy from the first episode of Mando? You're talking about that one high school? Yeah. That whole high school?
She loves fish, dude. She's Unagi's her deal.
Yeah. No, but anyways though. So at the end of the day, like when I think like if you're an actor and you have the body of work that you've done where you're like, that was art and then this was work, Star Wars is going to fall under work, but there's no doubting the specialness of the work on a cultural level. So might as well cash in for juniors and X.
If that's true.
On X, but.
And you're right. Which, by the way, pretty solid speculation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, like the thing that gets me on it is when they did come out and say no one but Harrison Ford will ever play Indiana Jones. Like, yeah, that's the thing where I'm like, when they said that, I'm like, there's a trick here. Like I couldn't figure out because I'm not a maniacal CEO, right?
And it may just be referring to the flashback to the opening young scene,
Sure,
but
it was that one thing. It wasn't a grand plan, but things changed.
RF Gaming Channel. Han Solo was the new Michael Myers.
Yeah, all wearing masks, right?
That's great.
He's coming back. What was I saying? Damn it.
Sorry, but
so
it was a home run.
When they get the AI down, right, and the AI can figure out the pitch, kind of like how they were like, I was watching the making of Get Back, and they're like, the AI was able to like piece out each one of the person's vocal tracks so we could isolate them, right, and separate them, and then raise the levels or lower them, and so you could hear everyone at an equal level or whatever. When the AI gets really good with sound, do you think they would go and replace Ehrenreich with a deep faked and sound faked, or are they just gonna leave it be?
I think they will just leave it be. I don't think they will invest anything in the past other than digital. Doesn't even matter, but for archival reasons, if it had been film, I think they would have invested in keeping the prints fine and great and ready for the future. But oh no, there's a disturbance in the force. It's Max and she's late. Max, are we gonna have to have a drive for the baby?
I'm tardy to the party, huh?
Well, you're late, and I just wanted to make sure everything was okay.
Yeah.
So how's it going?
Good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's.
Yeah. Just sorry you're on the show with this a-hole up here, but
Why?
Well, he's an a-hole.
Max doesn't read the comments.
Somebody called him an a-hole in the comments, and we've just been laughing because
Are you
Oh, I
serious?
got 'em. My favorite is they put a whole transcript of a conversation Jason and I had, and I just was like, "You actually listen to me." I really, really appreciate it.
What was it about?
Yeah.
Or I guess I could
Oh,
read it, right?
I'm horrible, and I should be replaced by like clones of Randy.
Aw. Well, at least okay,
Everything mom ever told me at age 8, Max. You know what
Well-
I mean?
Oh,
On Christmas.
Randy is you times 10. I mean, if he was on here, he would just be like, "Oh, I was bored." Probably that's probably what he would say.
Talk
well,
about Earl Sandwich.
what I'm going to say for Rob is that while he might have an opinion, he also offers a solution. That's
Mhm.
different from just bitching about something and not offering anything.
That's true.
Thank you, Marty.
Yeah,
So
that is
I
that is
suggest we
offensive.
all put this blaster in our no.
No, yeah, no. So yeah. So Max, I don't know if you heard, we were talking about how there's a Sun article about how Harrison Ford is set to return, film some scenes during the making of Indiana Jones 5 for the Book of Boba Fett, at presumably the volume in the UK somewhere at Pinewood, I assume. And yeah, so that would mean Han Solo is back. We have where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, Tatooine Show did say that was a thing a long time ago.
yeah,
It did say that. So you know what I mean. I don't know. I don't keep tabs on people. I don't like go like Tatooine Show 1 win, 2 wins for Tatooine Show. Oh, Tatooine Show, you have a losing streak. Try. You know, I don't do that. So I don't really know like what their thing is, but they did say it.
Are you keeping track of all the sites? So you have like a pin board?
God,
Can we,
there was this
can we
one.
make one up?
There was a douchebag who was claiming to like do that and wouldn't shut the fuck up about it until I came out. I was like a fucking rocked it straight across the board. Then all of a sudden didn't put out that Excel spreadsheet. Fucking dork.
didn't pull out.
No, it's a fucking dweeb. But there are people who do that. I mean, at the same time, I think it's important, you know, if and this isn't about Tatooine Show now, but you know, if We Got This Covered has told you that a Darth Bane series is coming out 17 times and it hasn't happened, maybe don't cover We Got This Covered or whatever it is, you know, whatever that outlet is, because it's obviously just making up things for clicks, which is bad because it's pennies. Making up things for pennies. Click.
Just kidding.
Click, boom.
Mhm.
That's what Max always says because she's pretty much extreme. Drinks some Mountain Dew, and before she clicks anything, boom.
And I put in my teeth, and then boom.
Yeah.
I had a WWF wrestling game on my Xbox, right?
Mhm.
Because I just bought it for Psychonauts. I need to play something else on this system, you know.
Okay.
And you could rip CDs right to the hard drive.
Oh,
And
right.
So you were able to put those soundtracks into the wrestling game to create your own intros, and click, boom was my. And as the fireworks would come out, like it would sync, it would know. I was like, "That's right!" I was the real deal.
Hey, Max, did you watch Cobra Kai? Watch that stuff? Is that stuff your bag of tea? No, okay, your cup of tea. No.
I did start watching it at when I went to get my car serviced. Last year I started watching it, and then I didn't pick it back up. It's on Netflix, right? Yeah,
it's on Netflix now. Yeah, it was on YouTube Red, and then YouTube Red became something else, and then now it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I need to watch it. I think I saw like the first 2 episodes. It was good.
Yeah. No, I mean it's really bad good. Like I finished it. I obviously won't give people time to watch it, so I won't say anything about it too much. But I was just like spending like the last 2 days watching it, and I'm just like, man, they are so lucky that they're just able to put something out, and people just go like, yep, that's what they're doing. That's what it is. Like with Star Wars, it's like everything is like so, you know, taken apart and taken so seriously. And it was kind of nice just to watch a show where nothing matters. They can do whatever they want. Oh, you did that? That's
the
crazy.
lowest stake show on TV.
It's great.
It's so low stakes. There's nothing at risk other than we will be better than you, or you won't do something. It's so low stakes. I love it. Like I'll say, damn it, got me off track on that one.
Sorry.
I'll come back to it.
Yeah, but I mean, anyways, yeah, it was maybe the worst season of the show, maybe, but still really, really fun. I had a good time with it, making Cobra Kai.
Oh, I keep expecting them to both become Power Rangers.
Yeah,
Cobra Kai Zord and the Miyagi Go Zord or whatever. Like, because every time I'm like, this is like, they look like Power Rangers, right? Like, don't they? They all look like Zordons, and they should, right? And they're the kid villains are like goofy, like, and not in a bad way. Like, I watch it, I'm halfway through. We'll finish it. It's fun, but yeah, I keep expecting them to become Power Rangers and.
Yeah, the young karate kids do look like they're Power Ranger extras or something, at least.
Especially Johnny's kid. I'm like, it's little Tommy.
Yeah,
it looks like little Tommy.
my
that kid, the Terry Silver hair, and it's fucking Tommy.
Right.
What's that guy's name? The blonde guy.
Johnny.
Oh,
yeah.
Johnny.
He's an asshole still.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
Not in real life.
He's in real life.
In real life, he's an
No,
asshole.
just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah.
He was a nephew of my cousin's teacher because she lived in Cerritos.
Cousin teacher.
And so in the late 80s, I want to say 88, 89, he came in to talk to them, right, about acting, right? And so she was like, oh, the Zabrakis, right? Mike Zabkis or whatever. He came to see me. I'm like, who? Johnny Lawrence. I'm like, I fucking hate that guy. She was like, no, he's really nice.
Yeah.
That really is
I
a
was like,
sign
no.
of a good actor. Where you fucking hate them so much and they're really nice.
He's probably spent his life having to overcompensate for it. Like the guy who plays the asshole Walter Peck in Ghostbusters. The guy probably has to go around going, hey, can I wash your car for you?
Biodome?
Just having to be the nicest guy. Yeah. But anyways, but at the same time, I will say I watch Cobra Kai and I'm like, guys, like they really could be doing Star Wars at this level though. And it wouldn't be for the best. I'm not saying that. Star Wars demands a little bit more, but it would definitely it could be worse in terms of every single aspect of it. And Russell asked, do you think the Acolyte will be Star Wars version of Cobra Kai? Man, a part of me keeps thinking that there has to be a part of Disney that wants like the Jedi Temple kind of television show so they could get that Hogwarts thing going on, with Jedi kids going in a soap opera kind of way. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I don't think so. I think it's gonna be a story told at a way more serious level.
It sounds to me like, on paper so far, what we kind of expected from the prequels.
Yeah.
Like a character who kind of goes bad, has the wrong role models, that the tail end of the Republic kind of thing sets up.
Like Cobra Kai. Maybe we're on to something here.
No, we don't wake up. Honestly, Obi-Wan's more like Cobra Kai, where 30 years later, he's just spackling walls for people's HD.
Drinking Coors Light.
Trying to get his temple back, you know what I mean? He goes to see his rival. Look, let's be honest. Obi-Wan's more like Cobra Kai, but like the whole premise. So
I gotta say, though, Johnny and Miguel's mom, it just makes sense. Just makes sense to me. So RF Gaming Channel says there was a script for Karate Kid sequel a few years back that saw Tommy as a surgeon that would save Mr. Miyagi. As great as that sounds, Cobra Kai is one. Yeah, it sounded like there were so many different sequel ideas booted around, in the aftermath of the next Karate Kid. And I feel like most of those ideas have made their way in. Obviously, Tommy as a surgeon isn't going to happen, but yeah.
Didn't they have a different Karate Kid where was it Will Smith's son, or is that?
Oh, we don't talk about that one. We don't talk about that one. Yeah, that one. We go as far as the next Karate Kid, even though I always say Karate Kid is a trilogy. I'll give the next Karate Kid a pass. But the Will Smith's kid, Jaden Smith. He's not a Karate Kid. He's not a Karate Kid.
What's weird is he does kung fu. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand the branding. They own the rights, the Smiths. That's why they're executive producers. Like the guys who pitched the show went on Harloff show because he's friends with them and explained how they had to go to Will Smith's production company to pitch the whole thing. So it's a really good interview from a couple years back. But yeah, I was always like, he's doing kung fu. Why is this called karate? Call it the Kung Fu Kid based on the karate. The funniest part was there's a bit in the original Karate Kid at the end where you say based on the DC comics. I got friends go, it's a comic book movie.
Really? I never noticed that.
There was a weird character called Karate Kid that they had to like square that name away. It had nothing to do with that. It's just they had to like pay them for the name, so they put it in there as part.
Maybe I did. I think I did see that in the credits.
Yeah.
Comic something.
Sorry, Salvador mentions where I wanted to take this, and I forgot. Salvador, thank you. Do you know something about the secret Star Wars project Lucasfilm is filming in Pinewood Studios since November? And that was when I asked about it, I was told that they were simply building sets for Acolyte. That's all that any of that was. That's what I was told from two sources. I'm going to say two sources on that one. And so I believe that that's what it was, and it was just that the people who put it out didn't know it was Acolyte for sure, so they were making it into a big mystery. Let's all talk about what this could be, because it's bigger than just saying the Acolyte's building sets. But did they perhaps have something there, and that it was the Solo moment, and it's not even, could the Solo moment have been the super secret Star Wars project that's been filming since November? And I think that that's a very possible candidate for that if both stories are true. If both stories end up being accurate, it's very possible. I feel like, oh God, I don't want to put too much into their mouths either, but the Tatooine show, I felt like they made it sound like it had already filmed, that it had already happened. That's like the other side to it. No, the Han Solo moments.
Okay,
they made it sound like it was already a done deal. Yeah. And one thing also worth throwing out there as a possible potentiality that I doubt, but it's possible, is that they filmed young Han Solo with a double back during the production, and we're just going to change everything around, and then got Harrison Ford later on to come and actually play the part, who they will de-age. They could have done it both ways. It's totally possible too.
So if this happens, do you think it's going to be like a long scene or something like a cameo type of situation?
Yeah, good question. I've been trying to figure out what you can do, because
it's a lot of work.
Well, killing Boba is something you could do. Like, they could kill Boba, but I don't feel like that they're going to want to do that anytime soon. At least not one season of a show. It would be a bad idea probably. And so you almost have to have, I feel like one of the only outcomes based off of the evidence that we have so far is that Boba comes up against Luke and Han Solo, the Rebel Alliance, the Republic, whatever you want to call it. And then they have to go, you know what? Same boss isn't as bad as the old boss, actually. We're going to just look the other way. That's the only thing I could see is some kind of like truce that happens between them where they're like, you know what? This guy's not exactly democratic, but he's not exactly a bad guy. He could be Jabba the Hutt, and he's not.
Yeah.
And then Boba gives him a square shield.
A square shield?
For the Falcon. That's where the square shield came.
I have awarded you this square radar dish as a testament of our friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did y'all talk about the Book of Boba Fett at all before?
Dude, that's all we're talking about.
Laid out. But, I'm gonna say I didn't get to listen to the beginning of the show.
Yeah, no worries.
So I did watch it multiple times afterwards.
Yeah.
And I still like it. And I can understand why someone would say, why is he not as badass as he was in The Mandalorian?
Fair enough.
And it was just at one part, like after he apparently had like when those raiders had attacked them. But on the other side, Fennec Shan got hit pretty hard too. They both got like tased pretty bad. So maybe it's just to show them that those raiders are powerful, and I don't know. That's just something that I thought about.
Yeah.
And then I didn't think about which
Yeah.
I didn't realize until you said it on one of your shows that they left us in a flashback. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought that was maybe the most, there's always the next episode, so in the future it won't matter. But I did feel like that was a structural faux pas of a week by week show to do that. You know what I mean? I was like, it's like it doesn't resolve. Like if it was a piece of music, it doesn't have that last note that resolves the piece. You're just left with this very unresolved feeling.
I think that probably what it was is to show that he won the respect of the Tusken Raiders, and then maybe if they showed him like wake up from in the back to tank, like instead of just leaving us there like in a dream or something, it was odd.
Yeah,
and I didn't realize it until you said it.
Because don't you feel like the next episode is likely going to be juxtaposed with him starting his day again and then having a flashback again as he moves? Like that's what I'm a little bit afraid, that episode 2 may be episode 1 the next day. Exactly. And it's the same day almost. Yeah. But this time he worked hard
for the emoji.
Yeah, I'm all because I mean, like on the first day, he's going down to the little Cabana Jazz Club or whatever, and he's saying, "Hey, give me a helmet full of Chuck E. Cheese tokens," and then the next day, now he's asked to go to the big boss. So it does escalate, but I'm curious if it's just like another day kind of feeling or whatever. But it's likely going to start on another. I feel like it's likely going to start on another flashback. And so when you watch them all together, you're going to have a flashback going into a flashback, which could be bad structurally speaking, which is why I think maybe it won't happen that way.
I hope they limit the flashbacks.
Yeah.
Just to that's a lot of flashbacks.
Oh, it is. That's a lot of flashbacks. I'm with you. I just get the feeling it's part of the organizational structure of the show. Is going to essentially be...
They're called Fettbacks, guys.
Fettbacks,
not flashbacks. Flashbacks. Which also
that sounds like a very racist thing that like a Bill O'Reilly would say on the Fox News channel. Here we go with this SJW Star Wars and all these Fettbacks taking our jobs. It's like, what?
What do you have against Fets?
Yeah, why do you hate the Fettbacks, Bill O'Reilly?
Killing Sketchcraft, my new book.
Yeah. Flashbacks versus Flashdance. Joel always nails it. Joel's the number one joke writer. Okay, yeah.
It's low-hanging fruit. I didn't go for the Flashdance. It's low-hanging fruit. I heard it, and I thought Fettbacks were better.
Jarbo Catan asks, is Kenobi completely done filming? Are they doing reshoots or whatever, or will they not do additional filming? To the best of my knowledge, Kenobi wrapped back on that Friday when I said it did, and it was done, and that it was already such a very slow shoot. I don't believe that they're doing anything else. I think that's simply it. One thing that I wanted to show on the screen though is right now, when you go to Disney Plus, and there's two different ways of reading this, so I will not give anybody the answer, unfortunately. Everybody wants an answer. I could just be that YouTube guy who pretends to have all the answers all the time and lie to you, but I won't. Let me share my tab here. When you go in there right now, Kenobi is showing up with this coming soon little dilly bob thing, and I got a screenshot of it right here. Will let me share. So right here, and so that it seems to be implying a much sooner release for Kenobi than the Nightmare scenario as a Kenobi fan. I mean, in terms of
one hell of a trilogy, like
right? Yeah.
If the John Leguizamo rumors are true. Man,
I had to wait a long time for that one to pan out. I remember when I reported that one. I was like, I guess I'm wrong. Whatever. And then there it is.
But hey, come on. No, I'm no Rand. I didn't bring
yeah, right. So anyways, though, yeah. So I think like pretty much like the people have taken like the whole schedule of Marvel and Bad Batch and stuff. Let me ask you guys this: Bad Batch season 2 is this year. The last Bad Batch was a May 4th.
16 episodes.
Yeah, no, but do you think Bad Batch season 2 will start May 4th as well? Same as before?
Could.
Because I mean, you end up with a schedule potentially where Obi-Wan either kind of culminates on May 4th or starts on May 4th.
Look, the last time we had a conversation about what's coming out in May was with Chris, and he accused me last week of claiming that the Kenobi trailer would be out by now. And I had to go back, because I had nothing better to do, go back and dig up that show and listen to all of it to figure out, did I actually say that? Because I'm fine with being wrong, but I don't remember saying that. And I did not say that. Chris said that the Kenobi trailer would come out about a month, maybe 2, because that's what they always do before the series. My response was, does this sound like a company with a plan? The company that just wheels out a Patty Jenkins trailer with no script, no art, no production date, right? That all sounds fine, but we got to all be careful doing fan math, because they could just drop the whole series on us on a Thursday with no forewarning. This is the company that on the big Disney Plus day put a minute-long snippet of a preview of Kenobi without even like talking about the people making Boba Fett. Like you would think that would have been a big, here's your trailer for Boba Fett, here's your interview with Robert Rodriguez and Filoni and Favreau and everyone else directing an episode, what it's like for them to come on board and direct an episode. Nothing. So like the big question that I saw over the weekend from Meg and a few other places was, is Andor going to be split into 2 seasons because they don't want Bad Batch season 2 to overlap with Andor, right?
Well, the reason that they're saying that is that I think one of those Production Weekly kind of mags says that Andor season 3 is about to begin filming, which means that season 1 was split into season 1 and 2, all filming at once, and season 3 is filming separately, which means Andor will be about 6 episodes instead of 12 for season 1.
Because they got to make room for 16 episodes of the Bad Batch. I'm like, you could put the Bad Batch out.
I honestly, I don't think the Bad Batch. I don't think the Bad Batch is taking up any real estate in that. I feel like the animated stuff. I think that they'll use it as buffer and padding when they need to. But I think when they have a really hot packed live action slate, they'll just double up. The animation will just hit in the same week as the other stuff. That's I bet you that's how this washes out in the big picture.
So number wise, did the Bad Batch do well at all? Regardless if it was given a number.
We don't actually know. Yeah, we don't actually get what those numbers are.
What do you mean,
right?
Nobody knows?
Nobody knows. Yeah, I mean,
I can't not do it.
I don't think we'll know. I mean, maybe we'll know when they do the Disney Investors Day. That's when they may drop like Book of Boba Fett got 16 bajillion downloads, but Kenobi was disappointing with only 7 bajillion downloads. Like they may do something like that.
My favorite is when they go, "We're the most pirated thing on the net." And it's like, are you bragging or are you claiming that's what? Well, I don't know what the point of this is. Like sometimes they're like, well, see, we lost money because we're the most pirated thing on the net, which is what the X-Men, the Wolverine Origins film tried to do. But then like a year later, Avatar was the most pirated movie on the net. And I was like, so how's that affecting the box office? Like, so it's just weird when they bring it up, like Game of Thrones, most pirated show on the net. I'm like, I don't know if what that means. Like,
well, Mr. Jarbo says, I hope Kenobi is good, but I have this nagging feeling it won't be very good. I hope I'm wrong. So for what it's worth, when it was a film by a different writer, same story though, I had Disney sources say it was the best script they had ever read. And the fact that it wasn't being turned into a film that they were backing out was atrocious. And this source isn't somebody who is a gusher about Star Wars, who's actually like highly critical of it. Mm-hmm. If they were a voice on the internet, everyone would say, you hate Star Wars. They don't hate Star Wars, for the record. But they said it was the best script that they had ever read. Now that script has now been adapted twice, so it's totally possible to ruin it. But it is, from what I hear, it is not uninspired. The original, especially, not uninspired at all. So in a weird way, my feeling is more that Book of Boba is the do whatever you want. Like, let's just hope it's cool, and like let's play around and see what happens. And Kenobi was the one that they're taking super serious. So we'll have to see how it pans out in the end. But yeah, what do you think, Max? Are you suspicious of that?
Of Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
No. I have no idea what type of story they would tell. So
yeah,
that's
because I feel like once they start throwing, like, I think, like, in terms of like the dumb side of fandom, myself included in that to some extent, whenever I see like Inquisitors and stuff like that, I'm probably gonna have fun. And so at the end of the day, like, the question becomes, did this need to exist? Did we need to see Boba Fett, Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi square off again? And did it enrich it or not? Because if the answer is no, then it's bad. It shouldn't exist. It shouldn't have existed. It was just let's just use what we got kind of scenario.
Yeah.
But
in a way too, this is like, it seems to me a little bit of like an extension of Rebels to a certain extent, as far as introducing the fact, or the thing of the Inquisitors, you know what I mean? Whereas we never would have seen them. I know you didn't like Rebels. I did. I got really invested with it, but
I do like Rebels.
Gotta get a new host of the show. Jason didn't like Rebels.
No, yeah, no,
new host of the show.
No, I do like Rebels. I'm like, it's just like, it'll do moments that are at like a 9.5 for me, and then it'll do moments that are like at a 2, and I'm just like, be consistent, Rebels. That's all I want from you.
Yeah, I wish they wouldn't have. You're canceled, Jason.
Yeah.
No, it's I really wish they would not have had the Darth Maul and Obi-Wan scene in Rebels, because that would work so well in this show. I
got the song 9.95 stuck in my head from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle soundtrack. Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. So I agree with you that killing Maul in Rebels was a big statement to make for Star Wars animation at the time. It said, we'll do whatever it takes to tell the stories that we need to tell. And at the time, I'm like, yeah, you will. You killed Darth Maul in Rebels. That's a serious endorsement. But then nothing ever again serious ever at that level happened again or mattered. And now it feels like maybe that was just a huge misstep, because it would have been much better if Kenobi was obviously him facing off against Maul instead of Darth Vader again, or even both of them in the big picture. Like if he had to deal with both, if there was that level of house cleaning to like do, would have been fascinating. And we won't get it now.
Speaking of flashbacks to death, do you think that they would even show that in live action? That existed? Because a lot of people aren't going to know.
My hope is that we get like the equivalent of the Sarlacc pit with it, but I don't think so, because I think it takes place after. It takes place after.
Do you know how many people texted me or called? I got at least 4 this weekend asking me, was there a stormtrooper on the Jedi scene with the Sarlacc pit? And I was like, no, the slowly digested over 1,000 years. And like, oh, so like people won't remember that without being reminded of it.
Right.
They will not know Darth Maul died in a cartoon. Like it's just no.
So I think it would be a good idea if they did. Yeah, if they showed it.
Yeah, they have to. Like,
Salvador says, speaking about a plan, Lucasfilm has a film in the 2023 calendar. Rogue Squadron is delayed. That's why I asked about the mystery project. Yeah, I mean, maybe when all is said and done, it will be the Indiana Jones year for Lucasfilm and not a Star Wars year.
It's a secret movie.
Pop secret. Shh, it's a secret.
Val Kilmer's coming back.
Oh, in Willow? In Willow? I hope so.
Top secret. They're gonna theatricalize Willow. It's not a series anymore. That'll be a movie.
Oh, and another Star Wars news, real quick. Rest in peace, Betty White.
Oh, right. Wait, is that Star Wars news?
Yes.
No.
I just made it Star Wars news.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Seems like she should have been in the holiday special, though, don't it?
She was with B. Arthur was her sister.
Wait, breaking news. Somehow Betty White has returned. Somehow.
Somehow Darth Maul lived. I mean, that can exist. Somehow it's not a stretch now. Somehow Betty White was in a Star Wars. I mean, we can put her in now. We can retroactively. Like, we have the technology, you know.
Yeah, well,
she could be raised.
Honestly,
I always thought Daisy Ridley could play a young Betty White, like in a biopic. I mean, if Nicole Kidman could play Lucille Ball, then most certainly.
Oh my God, Betty White mechanical legs. Oh.
I just see like Boston Dynamics dog legs on like a carcass of an old lady just going, "Yep, she's alive."
Can we all collectively agree that the Half-Life 2 Boston Dynamics dog legs don't belong in a Star Wars anything? Like,
no, I mean
they don't look Star Wars. I don't get that.
I feel like in Star Wars, you have a Boston Dynamics looking planet with tech. Clone Wars would do random stuff like that, where you go to one planet and it has completely different designs. Like the General Krail arc, like the ships in there were badass. Like I was all about it. So I'm not necessarily against that kind of design showing up in Star Wars. I'm just that. But my problem.
The OT trilogy era, that tech does not belong.
I don't know, man.
Republic, I'll buy it.
You could say that about
better tech back then.
The Blue Starfighters, you know. But it's just that those legs. I see those legs in real life. That's where it's like if you just put like a space top on a Jeep and it had the Jeep drive by and you can see the tires.
You know what I thought at first when I saw those? I was wondering if they were like what that doctor did to the people, like cut their faces and have those slaves. Shit, I can't even think right now.
I think you're thinking.
Like I thought they were real. I thought they were real like animals that were.
Oh no.
Like,
no, those are Boston Dynamics. They make these like dogs. What's the guy from what's it? Adam Savage? Is that his name? The dude from Mythbusters? Yeah, he has a YouTube channel where he just like customizes stuff on his robot dog like all day, and like 4 or 5 episodes maybe. And does tests with it and stuff like that. And they're fun to watch, fun episodes. But it's definitely like it's one of those things where right now they could get by with it. But in like 4 or 5 years, it's going to be really laughable. I think it was a bad call.
You know, in episode 1, it wasn't the backpack that threw me out. It was that toy in the back of Anakin's the
that thing
toy. Because I worked at a Playco and we sold the shit.
Yeah.
They were like the number one toy outside of a Furby and a Tickle Me Elmo for like that year, you know? So it's just like, really, folks? Like that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, but to be honest with you, the my hot take here is that the one to be afraid of is Ahsoka. Ahsoka has the most potential for dropping the ball cringe out of all of it. It's the one that doesn't have, it actually has weight to carry with very little reward for that weight on one hand. Like, and what I'm trying to say here is that number one is you have Dave Filoni, who's probably going to be taking that one over really hard. We've seen his stuff. He has kind of a bad one and kind of a good one under his belt right now in terms of live action. You have a bunch of cameos from characters that's like, hey, remember me from that cartoon? Oh, that's going to go over really well with general audiences who don't watch cartoons. That shit is going to be...
I would defend it and say, well, we've already seen Filoni direct Ahsoka really well in an episode of Mando. But then I've already seen Robert Rodriguez direct Boba really well in an episode of Mando.
Yeah.
And I'm on the fence about that one. Like, so let
me ask you something. Okay, so I watched Star Wars Mag this morning, and actually the past few days. where she mentions that there's already kind of like a division, or like some people like it and some people don't, or like especially like in the I
Like
guess
what?
some of like the where it's some people like it and some people don't so far.
Yeah,
Just
what
off of
is
the first
wait? What is it? Rebels or Boba?
no. I'm sorry, Book of
Okay.
Boba Fett. So, I probably just went on a tangent, but do you think that if Lucasfilm really felt that they do not have a solid show, do you think that they would say something right now about it, like kind of to re-promote it, like, get people excited for the second episode? Or do you think that they would just kind of not say anything and just let the show organically unfold?
I feel like Dave Filoni is pretty good at figuring out when he hasn't done a good job, to his credit.
I mean, because people, they pay attention to what the fans are saying.
No, exactly.
Filoni survived that theatrical release of Clone Wars, which I'm going to be honest, is the worst thing Lucasfilm has ever.
The worst has already happened to him.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
No, but on a big scale, no,
very bad.
No, forget the quality. The quality is not the thing. The thing is that if they put a movie out theatrically that was promoted in the mainstream press as being a Star Wars thing, that was then just torn apart and was the weakest aspect of anything he ever did. So I think the worst has happened to Filoni already in terms of like his career. Like the worst is generally behind him. I would think it'd have to be real corny. But the thing about it is that it, like, we don't know as fans necessarily what the cringe that is in Rebels, and we could love Rebels and not deny that if there's cringe in it. How much of that was Filoni? How much does Filoni accept as cringe? Is he like, ooh, I wish that he wasn't doing that too? But we're a team here.
But do you think go ahead?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think he does it on purpose? Like, I want to make you fucking cringe just for a second.
No, I don't think he's a sadist like that. I just think that it. Hi, Penny.
Hey, Penny.
I just think that it. I think that it. They came up with ideas in the story group that Ezra Bridger, boy, of course he's going to think Sabine's hot. We have to acknowledge it, and then we'll never deal with that again. We'll like make it a thing for like an episode or two, and then never deal with it again, and never even say, you know what, you're like a sister to me. Like they just don't deal with it again. It's like all these ideas that happen. Like for me, some of the things about Rebels that I absolutely hate is like when, Ezra Bridger has become a man, you know what I mean? By the end of the series, he gets a Mandalorian rocket pack. He's supposed to be, essentially, he's like our Neville Longbottom. He could be the chosen one at that point, for all we know. And he gets on the rocket pack and he's like, whoa, guys, this is crazy. I can't fly this with the Force. Not even the Force can fly a Mandalorian rocket. It was just like, it was silly stuff. Yeah, it was like you're building the character up. You're giving him trials, and then now you're taking him back to being a buffoon because you think it's funny on Disney XD. Is that Dave Filoni's fault? I don't know. I don't know. Like we don't exactly know where that line was, and that's what makes it really kind of like hard to like follow. And there's a lot of givens on the show for the fan discourse on Twitter and Tumblr. Like, oh my god, I had all the feels when Ahsoka showed up and high-fived, but that's not really real. That's not real. That ends up being that gives you a fake manufactured that gives you a fake manufactured kind of positive hype, but it's not real. In Lucasfilm in the past, I've seen them be very willing to take the fake positive hype and hoping that it will appear to be one thing while it actually ends up being another. And it's how the PR people there play ball. It's why they suck. It's why they're not living in reality half the time. It's why everything that they do is literally kind of like silly because somebody felt emotional about it. You think it means it was good. No, a lot of these people have hormone problems. They just really, really, really need to see a therapist. I mean, at the end of the day, that's how it, like, a lot of the cartoon fans are crazy. I love the cartoons. I really do, but they're crazy.
I love that you call it cartoons.
Yeah. I love cartoons. You love cartoons?
I am the king of cartoons.
Okay.
The only thing that I didn't Careful Rebels. I just said it was odd. It was a Purgle
Yeah.
at the end. Like it was just, I
Good.
don't know. It was kind of a little strange.
Well, see, right there, that right there.
To bring it back to Clone Wars wasn't that bad because Geek Furious is trying to agree. I'm like, I have to come on this show almost daily and defend Batman Forever and Avatar. I don't want to hear a Clone Wars is great.
You don't have to.
Or not that bad. I don't want to hear. I have to.
You do not have to defend Batman at all.
About my haters, right? My lovely haters. I love them. I really do. Because you haven't made it. You haven't Star Wars made it.
We call them the B-holes. You're the A-hole.
As I was curious to see what they like. So I was like, let me go see what their profiles. I wonder if they're real, if they're sock puppets. If they're sock puppets, I'm bummed out. Like if they real, now I'm happy. And so one of them had a playlist of all theatrical score-driven music and some symphony music. But in there, it's all the Avatar soundtracks. And I'm like, we should we're friends. I'm the only one here. All right.
Well, okay. No, but like Max is saying that if the Purgle ending on one hand wasn't kind of satisfactory to you, but in a weird way, it's what the whole Ahsoka series appears to hang on right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's like when it's an event that worked for some and not for others. Like
I don't explain that to the audience because if they're unwilling to explain the scene where a person is slowly digested over 1,000 years and have that actually be something that plays out in a scene for it to matter, which it does. So it's like they need to look. I'm telling you, I'm one of those guys like, no, audiences are smart. Look, they're yeah and no. If you're going to have a moment, which by the way, the ending to Rebels kind of like integral to the whole bringing Ezra and Thrawn and all that stuff back.
It's just weird as all I'm saying.
They have to explain it.
They have to.
They have to explain that to people who are jumping in on it. They can't just assume that everyone's going to know what the hell this is. Or I'm not willing to sit through all of them Rebels cartoons to figure this out. Like,
yeah,
it's too many cartoons.
They may think Boba Fett is more popular than he is on that level. They may be so inside the culture that they lost the perspective on that part. I mean, we do see Toothy Sarlacc showing up all the time. So a part of it is
why no beak? Like we never even saw the toothies. Like even when he crawls out, it's just the tentacles kind of like dead. You assume he killed it on the way out, but like no ravaging, fighting the beak off when he gets out, just trying to stab him or something. Like I'm just like, that's why I'm like, come on, man, let's make a sequence out of this. When he gets out, it's that again. There's a thing in screenwriting where, okay, you survived, but okay, now you're out the Sarlacc pit, but the beak is still alive and he's and it's trying to stab him, like, and then whatever move he does at the end to save the kid with the Harryhausen thing could bookend. Like there's just so many opportunities.
Like, I know. Yeah, no, there is.
Plus that beak. I want the beak to.
And I'm just. And I said this in I think the show last week. It had to do with the Boba Fett that we saw in The Mandalorian being like a total badass compared to how he was in Return of the Jedi. Even with Rob saying him doing something like fighting with the beak or whatever, just to show, just a continuation of showing his character being a badass versus what we saw in Return of the Jedi, which was so quick and
no, I see. I have like a vibe about that. Is like I feel like if the Cantina lady Flashdance had come to him and said, "I'm going to pay you 20,000 credits or some whatever amount of money to go kill the mayor. Do you take the job?" He would have said, "Yeah." He would have dropped down in the Slave One fire spray, whatever it's called these days. Jumped out. He would have choked out the hammerhead and got the money and left. But he's put himself in this position of wanting to rule with respect and not fear, which means he can't just go in. He has to try to play politics for the first time. And so he has to go through the motions that kind of get his ass kicked a bit, that get him roughed up more than I think he would have if it was a job.
So, yeah. And I remember some fans or some of your viewers thinking that it was...
They're called the B-holes now.
No.
They got the a-hole and the b-holes.
No.
Come on.
No, I'm not going to call
lower
them
tier
b-holes.
fans.
Okay. I love you, b-holes.
So, but I think I saw some of them saying that it was kind of like a front, like he's acting like this, but I guess implying that it's going to come to a point where he's like, fuck this shit. I'm going to have to roll.
It's going to be a real C-hole.
Yeah, a little cunt. So, but then also too, I was watching that interview with Tamara Morrison where he was explaining that.
Right.
Yeah. That it was he was going to show a lot of growth or something like that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like what part is he just talking about the first few episodes or?
Well, he might have been meant the first 15 minutes of the show, which to him means like 2.5 episodes, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
in Rodriguez time.
Yeah. And then from him saying that it's all killer, no filler.
Snyder time. Moves really slow. Snyder time is just so slow.
Yeah. I don't really. So anyways, they like Ahsoka, like I said, is the one that I'm the one where I'm like, man, like the premise, if it hinges on the culmination of Star Wars Rebels, I do think that in that one they may have to show like Ezra they may have to film that last 3 minutes of Star Wars Rebels in live action and show it. Unlike Boba Fett, because you see with Boba Fett, they're just assuming that everybody's going to know, and then they're assuming that everyone does know, and those who don't know will let the PR inform them.
Uh-huh.
And then instead they just wrote Truthfully Sarlacc a bunch, and everybody's like, I don't get this. So you know what I mean? That may be where we're actually at. But and hey, I got to be honest. I hope Ahsoka is the best. I really do. But I also think it's going to be the one that's going to be the easiest to get internet points on that don't translate to reality. Like I've gotten some internet points before, and they haven't translated. But one time I went to Norm's, and this guy goes, "I love your site," and bought my breakfast. That was the one time that it translated to real life. That was the only time.
And it paid off for getting yourself into Denny's. Have you ever worked so hard to get into a Denny's in the solo premiere? Like, I can really think about how hard is it?
Say that again.
Jason had to work really hard to get into a Denny's once. And
okay.
That's why I'm like, the only Denny's I found that was ever difficult to get into is the one directly across from Disney, because people are too stupid to walk a half a block to the IHOP and get right in. There you go, right to that Denny's and think there's no other eateries. But if you just make a left and go like half a block, there's a perfectly good IHOP with way better French toast available. No wait.
I did all the kids' laundry and got everything ready for the week, only to find out at the last minute that my kids didn't have school on the Monday after Christmas vacation. They decided that was something to do to us. So I have little children.
I have been considering screen capping my fans' tweets and then NFTing the NF tweets.
Yeah.
Right. I just want to. So
my favorite one ever is, you should listen to Jason Ward about his episode 9 spoilers. He can't even keep which drugs I'm on straight. That's my favorite one I've ever got. Salvador says, what if Filoni is adapting George Lucas's original ideas for the sequels? Maul was going to be a crime lord in the galaxy without law after the Empire. Maul was killed in Rebels, and Boba is rising. Yeah, I kind of think that there is something to that story beat is being followed through on. I think probably since Solo, a Star Wars story. We've seen it kind of move in that direction. I mean, once you find out Crimson Dawn means Darth Maul, I feel like that was kind of like, hey, let's take George's idea and do something with it. Mm-hmm. And then, but then obviously we're going to have an interesting thing, I think, set up with Mandalore eventually too, because Mandalore is going to do what's right for Mandalore. Is usually what we've seen. It's usually where their kind of like tendency ends up going towards. And so eventually we may see what's best for Mandalore not being in the best interest of the New Republic. and we could see potentially something there where all of these kind of guys become sort of anti-heroes in that war. Are you making fun of me? Are you making fun of me? But yeah, so there's like a lot of potential for, you know, wars to pop out in Star Wars where there's heroes on both sides, you know, that kind of concept if they want to.
Heroes. And we love them very much.
What are you doing? You eating your bangs? This kid's a weirdo.
They're good.
It's a little weirdo. It's a little weirdo. But anyways, yeah. So so what we have Harrison Ford's probably coming back. I mean, it seems completely possible. It seems maybe even likely. And then after that, Kenobi's likely coming earlier than we thought. You know, most likely.
Do you think?
I mean, it could be as early as March.
I was just gonna say March.
It could be as early as March, with it being a
it's
6
my
week
birthday month. That's why it should be.
Look, my whole point is
give the lady her birthday month. Come on,
her birthday's coming out. I'm very happy for it. The
so sincere.
So I just think, like, when it comes to predicting things, my 2 cents is always beware of fan math. You know, like, even if you're like, Rob, I've been covering this for 20 years. They always do this. I don't care. Like, beware of fan math, because fan math always makes sense to the fans. But I've been in the rooms and I'm like, none of that plays the way you think. They don't go, well, we did this, so naturally we always do this. Like, it's almost a fluke. Anything happens with any kind of regularity. And then as humans, we see the patterns and go, look, there's a pattern. And I'm like, is it really happen that way? Or was that just like because all these things lined up and they got into a rhythm? Like, I mean, fan math would be like, Star Wars is coming in May forever.
Well, there's a rhythm method in Star Wars.
That's what they said.
Faster and more intense, except for the first episode of Boba.
Yeah, Shami thought that too, Max.
Take your time.
It didn't work out for Shami Skywalker, did it?
No, it didn't. No.
No. So Klieg was like, I can only do so much.
Yeah.
So with I'm only going by Marvel. Do they normally have like multiple shows coming out at the same time, or is it one at a time?
So there's this thing, and it's a rumor. I'm not even sure how serious we need to like take it at this point. But the rumor is that Disney has a mandate, and that's not a date with a man. That's just a mandate. And it's two shows should not overlap. So they don't. So supposedly they don't want a Marvel Hawkeye Part 2 coming out with Boba Fett Part 3 at the same time. So people are doing the schedule based off of what they know, and that Moon Knight series, from what I have heard, I get people tweeting to me about it all the time or DMing me about it, and it's like Moon Knight's Moon Knight is like supposedly short. It's not like a long one. So it allowed for Kenobi to potentially start a lot earlier.
Let me rephrase that. Do you think that they would be? Do you think they will ever show an animated series overlapping, like while a live action show? Okay, that's.
I think when push comes to shove, if there's no better solution, that's exactly what they'll do. But I don't think that they will push a live action series, let's say from 2022 and into 2023, to make room for an animated show. Yeah. I don't think that it's worth it.
I'm hungry.
You're hungry?
I'm hungry.
Okay, we're gonna have to end the show because she goes first. I'm sorry to be a jerk, but today is her last day of vacation. Then she goes back to school.
That's cool.
RF Gaming Channel says to feed the child. Sometimes this kid says she's hungry.
RF. That's Ewan's hair, but Jason seeded it years ago.
And if anybody in the future is looking to like in 20 years is watching this and it's like, wow, I want to marry that Penny Ward, I want everybody to know that at her core, she's the kind of girl who says she's not hungry, she doesn't want any fries, and then eats all of your fries and eats all of whatever you get that she said that she didn't want. Every time, it's in her DNA. She is that person. So the I have warned the world. Now you just get to go be you. Eat whatever you want.
She's got Beavis's laugh. It's great.
Yeah, she's a little me.
I love it.
Get
So
me
adorable.
food.
Get you food. Okay, what do you want to eat?
Food.
You want top ramen?
I want food.
Oh, you're a cheap date, girl.
I want food.
All right,
Yeah.
it's a deal. I'm gonna do it now. I thought you were gonna be like, I want a Happy Meal. Give me a Happy Meal. I want a toy with my.
I want Mitsuwa, and I can't even get near Ella.
I like a chicken.
You want the chicken top ramen, huh?
But you sound like a chicken.
Bok, bok.
That's
Hey,
not a
Jason.
chicken.
Tomorrow night, Max.
Yes, I am. I'm there.
Yeah, actually, it's probably good that we take it easy today because tomorrow night,
Yeah.
that's when.
I fucking crashed
No.
Wednesday night, like, hard.
Did you?
No.
Yeah, I only slept like 3 or 4 hours. Real quick, Jason, with that top ramen, boil it seriously, and then rinse it afterwards because it removes the not so good oil.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, it's a good idea.
yeah, and then but rinse it with like warm water.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's probably good because I always have to cool off for it too.
yeah, because if you ever see it like cool, and there's that film of like hard oil, it's bad.
Okay,
Not good.
not
for
good.
you.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah,
I will do that.
I studied ramen. I studied
Yeah.
ramen.
I'll never forget when I went over that one kid's house and his mom kept putting spoonfuls of sour cream into it. I was like, man, you are a savage. You are a savage. But yeah, so we'll be back tomorrow.
Right.
I think we're gonna plan for a morning show. At least I will, anyways, for a morning 11 a.m. show. If there may be like a preview about tonight's episode or something like that, they could do. I don't know if they will, but if they do, we'll cover it tomorrow. That'd be a fun time.
We'll talk about Ancient Aliens premiering.
Oh, I actually have I came across all this one UFO case, all this cool information on this one case. I kept hitting it over and over again. So I kind of want to do a UFO episode pretty soon.
Kenny's
Based
like, I
off of
hate
that.
you, Rob. Shut up. Let us go.
All right.
Setting him up.
Okay.
Don't do that on a live stream. Nobody wants to see that. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I'll see you guys everyone tomorrow.
No.
And
No.
Peter Griffin says I should put a chili packet in your mouth.
No.
Okay, I won't do that. But that does sound good to me. I love pho. I like hot pho. Bye, guys.
Bye.
It's not about spaceships. It's not about spaceships.
Food.
Poop?
Food.
Poop?
Food.
Poop?
Food.
Poop?
I have a schnauzer who's got the same problem.
Wait.